I'm going to say it. We got a doctor in the house, Dr. Anissa Holmes. And so a lot of the information that you guys learned today or this morning, actually, I think in a lot of ways, Dr. Holmes is going to kind of tie it together. And her presentation is 3 simple ways to maximize your return on investment, right? We know that's always the elephant in the room, which is, okay, I know I've got to spend money on marketing, but am I going to get a return on investment? And so we're about to bring somebody on that has done this. She understands it, and she's done it as a practicing dentist. And so I'm very excited. Just a little bit about Dr. Anissa Holmes. She's dentistry's leading digital marketing expert. She's trained thousands of practices on how to leverage their social media to grow their practices effectively. She's, been in the trenches. Like I said, she's, ran practices, bought and sold practices, and she built a following of over 50,000 people on Facebook for her own practice. She's built multi-million-dollar practices using a lot of these frameworks, a lot of the things that she's going to talk about today. And now she likes to teach this to audiences worldwide. She's trained with some of the best when it comes to Facebook strategy, online marketing, funnel building, automation, and sales. And she has applied the cutting edge knowledge to build highly effective, repeatable, right? I think that's the biggest thing when it comes to marketing, especially with ROI, which she's going to touch on, but repeatable processes for stress-free dental practice growth. Who doesn't want that, right? So without further ado, everybody, I'm very excited to bring to you Dr. Anissa Holmes.
Thank you so much for having me. Can everyone hear me? Can you guys see me? Is everything all good here?
Everything's good.
Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And I am so excited to be here with you today. So for the next 50 minutes, I'm actually going to be sharing frameworks that are going to help you to be able to understand how to be able to create that repeatable process. And super excited to be here. So just to tell you a little bit about me, I am a real dentist, like John said. I've been in the trenches. I graduated from University of Alabama about 22 years ago. And a little bit about my story, after having a practice in Birmingham, I actually decided to move my practice, had to start all over again. And at that point, I was just like so many of us as colleagues. We want to get out, we want to help people, we want to change lives. But I didn't have a lot of money. And so, in fact, I actually had to put my practice on credit cards to build my practice. I had a little baby. Had a dream, and I had to figure it out. And so because I didn't have a lot of money to spend on marketing, I started to test lots of things. Eventually, I landed on Facebook marketing. And over the last 12 years, I've actually focused on really looking at how can we simplify Facebook marketing and how can we get patients that are coming in repeatable. Now, there are lots of ways that you can market your practice. And what I want to share with you today is really a little bit about my strategy in terms of Facebook marketing. And this is just kind of what came next. And John kind of went through that, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time. But we figured out how to get a ton of new patients from Facebook marketing. From there, I created a book, podcast, and John went through a few of these things. We're now coaching practices and practice management, as well as within marketing. But I want to talk to you guys today. Like, this is so important and so powerful. And why are we here talking about marketing today? Honestly, it's all about our patients. This patient here is Mr. Chen, and he actually came into me. He was really afraid to go to the dentist. And what was really interesting is that he actually came back to me a few weeks later and he said, I just want to thank you so much for what you're doing on social media. I have been following you for a long time, and I've actually been sending people to you, but I've been afraid to come in. And it was that last post that you did on social media, you showing me how you're changing lives, that gave me the courage to come in. And so that's why marketing is so important, because it's really interesting. Like, as dentists, I'm a real dentist myself. I have a real practice. We want to help people. We want to change people's lives, and we're investing in dental school. We're investing in technology, right? We're investing in our team. And, it's really important that those patients that need to find us can find us. And so that's why marketing is so powerful and incredible. And there are definitely different ways that you can market. And I can tell you, over the years, I've tested many things. I've done the Facebook. Over the years, I've actually done airplane ads, right? So I've done that. I've done mailers, $5,000 mailers. And what's so powerful about what I'm going to share today is it's very different. And what you're going to learn today is how can you create a repeatable process that you don't have to spend every month on Google Ads and $5,000 mail drops, right? How can we build an army of raving fans that our community become our marketing partners, where everyone is telling everyone about us, where our patients are telling everyone about us because we've changed their lives and they see how we're serving. And so, my form of marketing that I'm going to share today is how do you create that ROI? That once you make that initial time investment of just a few months to really share your story, let people know what you're known for, and use some really cool digital marketing strategies as well, how can we create that automated process, right? It's almost like you're planting seeds for that apple tree and you plant them, and then before you know it, there's just apples overflowing for the tree. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So, again, I'm going to be sharing with you the marketing framework. And interestingly, this is what has allowed me in my practice. And I'm really proud of this. Like, we get a lot of patients from social media marketing. We've got 2 associates. We typically get about 50 patients a month from Facebook marketing. But what I am most proud of and what I love helping colleagues with is how can we get the internal referrals? And in my practice, we have about 80 patients a month coming from internal. And that's what I want to share with you. How do we build that automated process? And it goes through this process. And this is just a little representation on the right. And this is what we call a funnel. And what that means is that we are creating awareness. People don't know who we are, right? We're engaging with them. From there, they're becoming patients. And from there, they're becoming fans. And what's so great about digital marketing is that you can, just like I said with Mr. Chen, you can create fans in your community that are talking about you, even if they're not yet a patient. And that's really, really exciting. So I'm going to be sharing some of those strategies. And you can see here, Dr. Reina, she's actually in Texas, getting 11,000 views and 48 shares. We're actually going to go through some of the strategies that we've been talking about. So there's a few things that we always want to look at with our marketing. And with our Facebook marketing, again, what's so powerful about Facebook is the engagement piece, right? If you're doing a Google ad, or if you're doing, for example, a mailer, right? You're not able to engage, right? You give people, and a lot of times, honestly, you have to do discounting there, right? Because people don't know who you are. The power of Facebook and social media marketing is that you can build connection. And that's what it's all about as dentists, right? It's building connection. That's how we build trust. That increases case acceptance. And once you start implementing the strategies that I'm going to share with you today, what you're going to notice is that your case acceptance is actually going to go up because people are going to come in and they're going to be ready to get started with you. And it's really, really exciting. And so as you're posting on social media, as you're getting out there and you're utilizing social, what I want you to always think about is creating what we call shareable content, right? And this means content that people want to share, right? And so this talks about how are you serving your community? What experiences are your patients having? And how is your practice different? Now, this is something that's very important because a lot of times, again, we might be focusing on doing implants, placing implants, helping patients who have sleep apnea, right? Wanting to do high value services. But a lot of times what happens when we're doing a discounted marketing, right? Maybe it's going to be, again, a mailer or a Google ad. A lot of times what happens is that it's based on where we have the lowest costs. With social media, again, you can share how your practice is different, what your practice is known for. So I'm going to share a few things here from my own practice. And we're going to talk a little bit about how you can share your practice's story. And by the way, I'd love, like in the comments, if there's a place for you guys to kind of type in, like, what do you want your practice to be known for? For those who have followed me for a while, a lot of times when I'm teaching Facebook marketing, I'll ask, like, what is my practice known for? And they'll say, your practice is known for delivering well. And I'll say, well, how do you know that my practice is known for delivering well? And it's because I share with you. I tell you, right? And so in all of our Facebook ads, when we're doing Facebook Lives, when we're answering the phone in our practice, we're always saying, I'm so happy to have you here. Let me tell you a little bit about what we're known for. And so in my practice, what we're known for is a few things. Number one, we are known for seeing our patients on time. We're known for delivering an amazing wow experience. And so when you come in, there's iPads to take away the sound, there's headphones, right? We're also known for the technology. And so here's a few images that we're posting on social media, and it is sharing our story. And so in the upper left, I really love this. I actually invested in having all of my dental assistants trained in hand and arm massage, right? So that once we numb the patient and we step out, now the assistants can come in and relax our patient, which is really great, right? We also are known for our technology. Here is our dental assistant sharing technology that can be used for Invisalign, right? We also have free dental days. So every year we're doing free dental days. What story does it tell there when we're having free dental days? On the right-hand side, you can see we have field trips where kids are coming in. We have a kids club. Our culture and our team is amazing. We have spirit weeks. And on the bottom is actually where we're going into a school and we're actually teaching kids about dentistry. Interestingly, what we did was we actually had some stone models made with a prep tooth, and we had old composite, and we went in and we actually taught the kids about what is a cavity, what are fillings, how do we do it. We gave them curing lights and glasses, and they actually did fillings, which was really cool. And so again, as you start thinking about what you're posting on social media, what I want you to think about is always sharing what your practice is known for. And I'm going to be sharing some specific things that we can do to really jumpstart your Facebook marketing. But I want to share a few things here that have been really, really effective. And as you're starting to think about, okay, I want to get started with social media, where do I start? A few things that you want to think about is, again, sharing your story. Our practice is also known for impacting the community. And so one thing that we're actually going to be doing in January, we've done it in January before, is we actually have a clothing drive where we can say, okay, you've got new clothes in your house, I'm sure, for Christmas. Why don't you go ahead and empty out those drawers, take them into our practice. And what we're going to do is we're going to randomly select someone to be able to have a $250 gift card. And from there, we can go ahead and support our community. And you can see here that this particular post had 732 likes, right? 83 shares. Another common image here is an office tour. And this is really great. A lot of times we're focusing on creating a beautiful practice. You can see here that this particular image had 5.1 thousand views. And here's another image, again, sharing your culture. This particular team, they were doing vision boards. If you haven't done that yet with your team, it's amazing to really think about what is everybody working for in their practice. And you can see here that we had vision boards, and this particular post was made by a practice in California. And you can see here they had about 7,000 views on this particular video. Other things that I really love to see practices do as they start wanting to create their presence on social media is really educating our patients. And there's this whole thing about, should we educate our patients? Should we not educate our patients into treatment? And I believe that there's definitely a role. And so one thing that's really powerful that we've seen work extremely well is actually utilizing social media. Again, this is an engaging platform to be able to build authority, right? What we're wanting to do is we want to have our patients see us as an authority so that they will share with us, share their friends and family. We want our community to see. And so one thing that's been very effective is what we call Tooth Talk Thursdays. And how this works is you're actually getting on Thursdays, or it could be any day of the week, and you're actually talking about two topics. So it could be, for example, on the left, what new parents should know about baby's oral health, from the first dental visit to what to do when the baby is teething, to what to expect from there. You can see here we're going to be talking about whitening toothpaste, strips, and professional whitening. You can come on and talk about 3 different ways to replace missing teeth. If you are implementing a new service into your practice, maybe it's going to be Perio Protect, right? I've had practices take a whole month and focus on perio health and perio and oral health during coronavirus, right? And talking about solutions that you can actually have to be able to improve your oral health, especially if you have perio, bleeding gums, right? Getting on and talking about solutions, talking about perio protect and clear trays that you can do to be able to improve your oral health. And so you can see here just sort of the traffic that comes from that and traction, just getting on there, getting lots of views for these videos. Now, one thing that's really powerful, and we're going to be talking a little bit about strategy in the future, is that there's an overall plan, right? We're getting out there and educating, but we're building our brand, we're building influence. And you'll see in just a second, we're also building our Facebook audiences, getting prepared for our high value ads, okay? Now, some other people may say, well, I'm not sure about video yet. And so what also works really well as you're just getting started with your Facebook is featuring the doctor and team. These posts do extremely well. You can see here 172 likes. So those are also really powerful things that you can do for your Facebook. And again, just sharing here different things that you can do to get out there and to build your influence, to build your page. A lot of people ask me, what should I be posting on social media? And this is showing that you're investing in your training, right? So one thing that I recommend for you, right now, as you're watching this training right now, you're a part of this amazing event put on by Henry Schein One. Take a photo of you learning, post that on social media. What story does that tell, right? That tells a story that you're investing in your knowledge so that you can be a better doctor, a better team to better serve the patients, right? When you're perhaps having a weekly meeting, or you're having a morning huddle, take photos of that, put that on social media. What story does that share? That you are invested in making your practice better and really making sure that you serve your patients well. And once you're attending your live events, you want to make sure that you're doing that as well. Again, this particular team, the doctor invested in the team and actually provided Kindles for an online book club. And you can see here that they're sharing images of their Kindles. Okay, a few other things that are really, really great. Supporting local charities is also very, very, very effective, and it also improves your practice culture. Right, team members want to work in a practice where the practice is more than just about making money. Right, it's about serving patients. It's about serving the community. And what's been very effective in my own practice, as well as colleagues that I've worked with, is getting out there and doing campaigns that allow you to be able to support your community. All right. So I'm going to kind of start getting more into some of the strategy behind what we post and our long-term goal. And the purpose of this particular training is to talk about ROI and how do we build ROI? How do we get in high value cases? So a lot of times people come to me and they say, this is great. Like, I love the engaging part that you're doing on the Facebook page. I love that you're engaged in the community, but how does this break down and relate to me? Like, I'm at $3 million, right? In revenue in my practice. I'm a single or have two doctors and I want to scale to the next level. How am I going to be able to promote more of the sleep apnea? How am I going to be able to promote more of the implants? And so I'm going to start to share some of the strategies of exactly how we're actually going to be doing that. And it starts with, again, in marketing, as we spoke about in that funnel, having people to become aware of us. Okay. And so a lot of the things that we want to start posting, a lot of the things that we want to start putting out there on social is exactly that. It's engaging people. But the long-term goal is to be able to have people to get to know us, to see our posts, and ultimately we will actually be showing them ads that will allow them to be able to make an appointment, perhaps an online appointment, or to be able to provide an email address, or to be able to go ahead and schedule for those high value services. Okay, and I'm actually going to be sharing exactly the steps to be able to do that here today within this presentation. And so here are a few other campaigns. And ultimately what we're trying to do is we are trying to build as many views of our videos so that ultimately, again, anyone who's watching our videos can now see our high value ads. Okay, so a few other things that we can do to be able to create that awareness, to be able to show what we're known for. These are some really interesting campaigns. So the one on the right is actually a doctor up in New York, and she did a community heart campaign where she actually did a GoFundMe to be able to raise money for Staten Island Hospital. And so how it worked is that she actually did a Facebook Live saying that it was really important to support healthcare workers right now. And what she was going to be doing is anyone who donated to this GoFundMe, she would actually match their donation up to $40 as a credit in the practice. And so what would happen is, she said, if you are an existing patient, then you will be able to have that credit. If you're not an existing patient, we'd love to be able to have you as a patient, or you can transfer it to someone else. What was really cool, you can see here, she had 5.4 thousand views. She actually reached her goal in about 2 days. Okay. After she did this, we also had other practices, again, Repeatable, follow the same framework. You can see the doctor on the left essentially did the same exact thing, going to a different charity. And she randomly gave away a $100 gift card as well. You can see here 9.3 thousand people watch this video. Now you might be asking me, Anissa, like, how much are they spending on boosting these posts, right? And by the way, Facebook is a marketing agency, so you're gonna want to boost the post, okay? How much are they spending to boost these posts? It's about $50, okay? Between $50 and $100 is typically what I recommend for these community engagement campaigns. So imagine, for the cost of a dinner, or maybe less than the cost of a dinner, you're having 10,000 people in your community seeing that you are serving the community. Like if you were to do, again, a mailer and want to get your practice in front of 10,000 people, you're looking at $5,000, right? Or if you do it yourself and you're doing direct mail, EDDM, you're looking at about $3,000. Here, $50 to $100, you're able to get 10,000 people seeing your practice, which is amazing and incredible. All right, so a few other things here, a few other just shareable ideas of what's worked really well for people are giveaways. And so here is a practice here in Texas. And again, 517 shares, just showing up and sharing with their community that they're there to serve. And again, there's a long-term strategy that we're looking at. What happens with all of these people that share. And I'm so excited to share what we do with all of those people who share shortly. And this was actually a practice over Easter that gave away a gift basket that included hand sanitizer. And you can see here 517 people shared this campaign. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the missing link and what a lot of people may not be aware of as it relates to Facebook marketing. So a lot of times you'll have people that are doing great posts, creating great content, some of the things that we've spoken about before. Interestingly, this doctor came to me, and I'm so excited to share this with you because a lot of dentists, well, we just don't know, right? We don't know what we don't know. And so we start posting on social media, and all of a sudden we're like, well, it doesn't work, right? Like, I'm not getting patients. I'm not getting high value patients. I'm spending money and I'm not getting the traction that I need. And that's because a lot of people really don't understand the power of social media, power of Facebook, and what's actually possible for you. And so this doctor actually reached out to me and she said, I'm not sure what's going on. Like, we're creating great content. And if you look at this, would you agree? I think we can all agree they're doing an amazing job. They've got, great looking images. On the left, you can see here, they actually decorate their practice every month for a different holiday, but they weren't getting the likes. They weren't getting the shares. They weren't getting patients booked, which is what's most important. And so I asked her, I said, I have a question for you. Who are you boosting this to? Who's your ad to? And can you share with me as well, who's your audience? How much money are you spending? And she was like, I'm not really sure what you're talking about. And I was like, wow, we've got a huge opportunity. And so the little known power of Facebook marketing is that you have the ability to actually target your patients. So you can have your patients to actually see your Facebook post. You can target people who are just like your patients. So you can say, hey, Facebook, here's my patients. Can you have people who are just like my patients to actually see my Facebook posts? Maybe they live in similar neighborhoods. They have similar Facebook friends. They click off of Facebook to different pages that are exactly the same. People who've been to your website. You can target people who live on specific streets. In the United States, you can target people based on the highest net income. You can target people who watched your videos. You can target people who've shared your posts, people who have commented on your page, messaged your page. And that's the power of Facebook. Like all of the things that we're doing on social media, guys, I want you to understand that there's so much power, because now anyone that has seen all of the amazing things that you can do, then now you can continue to market to those people. And so this is the little known fact that most people don't know about. And this is what I love helping doctors and teams to be able to set up for their practices, is when they're utilizing social media and Facebook to be able to have a drop down menu, where now if you're doing Facebook Lives, you're doing your weekly Tooth Talk Thursdays, you're building your following, you're doing things for the community. Now what happens is that you're able to show your future posts to people that have watched your weekly videos, people that have landed on your website, right? Are a patient of yours. And why does that matter? Right? Because when our patients see our posts, now they can give us social proof. They can say, I love going to their practice, or my mom has been there. Right? So that's really, really powerful. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and start talking about how do we build marketing momentum. And this is like super exciting. So if you're just getting started with Facebook, I want to actually, now that you understand kind of like that you want to create content that people can share, now that you understand that that we have the power to be able to build up these audiences, I want to talk about and spend a little time talking about, if you're just getting started, the fastest way to build traction to be able to get high value patients into your practice, right? And to be able to get patients booked right away. And so one thing that I love helping practices with, we actually started this back in my practice back in 2010. And, a lot of times you'll see people on social that are doing giveaways. They're doing, a Yeti giveaway, or they're doing an Amazon gift card. And so for me back in 2010, I'm like, what would be even better is that if I could actually give away a beautiful smile, right? Where I could gift a beautiful smile. And so we actually created something called Project Smile. And since then, we've actually had hundreds and hundreds of practices globally to actually do this. So typically what you're doing is you're picking up your phone and you're saying, hi, everyone, it's Dr. Anissa Holmes. I am so excited to be here today. Today, I'm actually here to share something that's going to change someone's life. Now, if you can do me a huge favor, actually, before we get started, in the comments below, if you can go ahead and type in what part of town you're watching for, that would be really great. Or say hi to me. Like, I can't see everybody who's here online. So as you're watching this, go ahead and say hello to me. I would love for you to do that. And if you're watching this on the replay, go ahead and type in replay. So to tell you a little bit about what we're known for in our practice, we're known for a few things. Number one, we're known for seeing our patients on time. We're known for beautiful, natural looking dentistry. And we're also known for creating amazing wow experiences. In fact, when you come into our practice, we actually have warm peppermint scented towels, and kids actually go to the toy box first. But one of the things that we love and we're most proud of is actually our gift of dentistry and how we're able to change lives. And so we're here today to actually make a huge announcement. And that announcement is that we are launching today our Project Smile competition. And with this competition, what that means is that we're going to be able to give someone a beautiful smile. Now, here's the thing. Some of us have been born with a beautiful smile. Others of us have been fortunate enough to be able to afford a beautiful smile. But we all know a friend, a sister, a brother, a cousin, someone who's not as fortunate. And so if you could do me a huge favor, there's a share button. If you can go ahead and click that right now and share it, it just might change someone's life. Again, to enter, all you have to do is send us a photo, share your story, let us know why we should choose you, And we look forward to hearing your story. All right, so that's typically how you'll do it. Now, a few strategy things here. I'm going to get into some strategy. Is number one, we want the comments. The reason why we want the comments is that Facebook organically, when they see comments, they see, right, that someone's interested in this post. They're not watching all of our videos. They're not watching all of our posts. And so organically, it pushes our posts into more news feeds, okay? When we ask people to comment. We've also asked people to share. And this is an emotional marketing campaign. This is an emotional video that we're doing where we're saying this might change someone's life. And we actually pause our speech when we speak about that, right? And so you can see here that we've gotten 135 shares, 881 shares, 40,000 views. And what's so powerful about this campaign, like it's great from a marketing perspective, but I'm going to take the marketing hat off for just a second and be a real dentist. Like this is some life-changing stuff, guys. I mean, this patient here on the upper left, she came in and she was a college student, just finishing up. She was going to China. And she came into my practice and she said, Doc, you got to help me. Like I'm going to China. She had baby teeth on the side. And she said, these kids are going to tease me and I need help. And I can't afford implants. I know that's the best thing. And I don't have a lot of time. How can you help me? And I said, you know what? We've got a small competition going on right now. You're going to be one of my winners. And we actually chose 3 people that year. The next week she came back. With her husband and surprised our team. He was a musician. He had a concert. He was singing about his wife and how we gave him back his wife. How do you think that made our team feel? How do you think it made me feel? Right? And so this is really powerful stuff. Taking off my dentist hat and going back to my marketing hat. It's also really powerful because it allows our community to see that we care about people. And it allows us from a strategy point to be able to build our Facebook audiences, to be able to build our views so that now we're building our warm audience. We're taking people from awareness to engaging with us, right? The next step is for them to become a patient, all right? Here's another doctor that did small makeover competition. Again, 48 shares, 11,000 views, spending $100 to get 11,000 people to see how great you are. It's just incredible, okay? A few other things that you can do when you're getting started and with Facebook marketing and you want to start building a lot of engagement, you want to be able to let people know what you're known for, or giveaways with other businesses. And right now during COVID, this is a perfect opportunity. There's so many businesses that are struggling right now. And so if you can feature these other businesses, right, and show your community that you care about them, and build your Facebook audiences at the same time. How incredible is that? And so one thing that I love, and we're going to actually be doing this again in my practice as well, I'm helping other practices within our marketing program that we have to implement this campaign, is getting out there and doing a gift card giveaway with other businesses, collecting gift cards from other businesses and actually giving one away every single day. I actually created this campaign because I'm a strategist. I'm a marketing strategist, and I know we have to pay Facebook to be able to get our post out. But I challenged myself, and I thought, is it possible for me to actually get visibility to my practice without boosting, without paying for an ad? And so I'm always testing things. And so I tested this campaign. We did this 2 years ago. This was the first time we did it. I leveraged my team. We went out to different businesses that were actually in our complex. We spoke to patients who had businesses. We went to them and we said, we're going to do something to help our community. Would you be willing? And we'd love to feature your business. We love your business. We love what you're doing. Would you be willing to give us a gift certificate? Guys, it's not hard. Somebody came to you and said, I'll feature your dental practice and all you have to do is give me a teeth whitening gift certificate. I'm sure the answer would be yes. And so they gave us the gift certificates. In order to enter, people would have to share the post. And in order to enter, they would comment the word of the day, right? So for example, here in my practice, we gave away a $500 gift certificate for Invisalign. They would have to enter in the word straight teeth. And you can see here, 96 shares, 79 shares. 96 people shared my practice's Facebook page with all of their Facebook friends. And I spent absolutely nothing. I spent nothing. The next day, 79 people shared it. We did it over 12 days of Christmas. I'm sure everyone in my entire city found my practice's Facebook page. All right. And what else are we putting on our practice's Facebook page? Our Truth Talk Thursday videos, maybe photos of our beautiful dentistry, maybe a video testimonial of our patient, right? They're seeing how our practice is different. This particular doctor, I love this case study. She's in New York. Now, I don't know if you guys know New York, but New York is a hard market to practice it, to market in. It's a hard place to market in. And they actually started doing the Truth Talk Thursdays for about 2 months. They were doing the Truth Talk Thursdays consistently every Thursday, educating the patients. This is the same practice that I shared with you in the beginning. This is kind of taking you along their story and their journey from doing the Truth Talk Thursdays. 2 months later, they did this giveaway. And look at what happened. 0 paid ads. 22,000 views came in 2 days. 290 people shared this one post. 369 comments, 102 likes. In fact, you can invite all of those people to like your Facebook page, guys. Powerful stuff. 22,000 views. Incredible. All right. After we're doing the community engagement campaign, again, you can follow that up with additional campaigns. I recommend you do a community engagement campaign every month. You want to be consistent. You want to show up. You want people to see how awesome your practice is serving the community, right? And these campaigns, again, $100 a month is all we're spending to be able to boost these posts, right, to our warm audiences or people that have, again, landed on our website, watched our previous videos. Interestingly, when we first did this clothing drive, it was a month after our gift card giveaway. And so I had all of these thousands and thousands and thousands of people that had already seen my practice's Facebook page, that had made comments, that now were in my, what I call engagement audience, or watch the videos, video retargeting audience. And so now when we boosted this post, that's who I boosted it to, right? And you can see here, 83 shares, 732 people like this. Guys, this is incredible, okay? After we collected the clothes the next month, we actually had another campaign that I went to Missionaries of the Poor. That's who we donated the clothes to. And I asked the brothers, would you guys like a free dental day? And they said yes. And we actually saw them, and we boosted that post as well to our warm audiences, okay? So the key, the secret, guys, with the Facebook marketing, right, is getting out there, building up your audiences. And again, it's really, really powerful. And how do we engage our patients? We want our patients to be a part, right? And so, for example, we've got here Children's Dental Health Month. Maybe you're doing a coloring contest, right? You want to, if you're doing a video, you want to email your patients. You want your patients to see that Facebook Live that you're doing so that they can see what you're doing. You want to be able to put flyers up around your practice so that your patients can see what you're doing that month. You want to be able to send a newsletter out to your patients and let them know what you're doing, or send them information about what you did last month, right? I know Henry Schein One has lots of great tools that you can use to get out there and communicate with your patients, right? I'm getting out there with Patient Engaged, Demand Force, right? To get out there and communicate with your patients. Really, really powerful, okay? And so that's really the key. And again, the marketing framework is taking people from awareness, not knowing who you are, right, to engaging with them. And once people are seeing what you're doing, they're seeing how you're serving, they're watching your weekly Truth Talk Thursday videos, they're watching your patient testimonials, they're seeing your patient tour, right? They're seeing how you serve. Then now what happens is that they're going to become very interested. And what's really interesting for me is that for a lot of the practices that I work with, this is where they stop, right? They get out there and they do these campaigns, and they start closing $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 cases. People are at the supermarket and they're saying, I know who you are. You're that dentist, right? I love what you're doing. Or like Mr. Chen, I've been following you for a while and I finally got the courage to come in, right? Getting out there. And again, what we want to make sure is we're integrating in emailing our patients, giving them social media images, and getting out there and really engaging with them. All right. So I want to shift gears just a little bit. And I want to talk about promoting high value services. And this is where it gets really exciting. Okay. Because not only can you get patients from social media engaging with them, but now we have the benefit of all of the people that have watched our videos, that have participated in our Project Smile, that have participated in our gift card giveaway, that are watching our weekly Tooth Talk Thursdays. And interestingly, it's almost like having our own TV show. Dr. Paul Wynn, who's in New Orleans, he's a startup and he's doing amazing. He says, you know what, I'm on every Thursday at 6 p.m. I do my Tooth Talk Thursday. And if I'm not on, people are asking me, like, what happened to your Tooth Talk Thursday? I was looking forward to your Tooth Talk Thursday. He's building that influence and authority, and he's boosting that for $25, right? But this is really great. After you do that, how do we promote high value services? Well, this is where it gets really exciting, because all of those, what we call warm leads in marketing, people that have liked our posts, who've been following us, now we can start to run high value ads. We can give them ads that are specifically for implants, Invisalign, cosmetic dentistry, all on 4. And now we're able to utilize those Facebook audiences, right? And run these campaigns. Actually, you can run them on the page, but I prefer to run them, set them up what I call on the back end of Facebook, that the only people that see them are the people that you're targeting to see them. And so you can say, I want people who watch my videos, been to my practice's website, have the highest net income, live on specific streets to see these ads, right? And that's when your conversions go up, your case acceptance goes up, your click-through rate goes up, your show-up rate shows up, because you're now marketing high value to warm audiences, okay? So how does that look like? Okay, so there's 2 ways you can market high value services. I love sharing lots of different tips. And so the next logical step could be a direct ad like this, where there's an image. Another way that you can do it is utilizing video. I love video because people can connect with us. Again, that's the power of social, that you can connect. And so this is a Tooth Talk Thursday that we did in my practice. And I'm actually going to share with you different ways that you can have people connect with you once you're doing a Tooth Talk Thursday video. And this is going to incorporate some really cool things. Online booking. It's going to incorporate your practice's website. And it's also going to incorporate landing pages where you can collect email addresses to continue to market people in the future. And what's really cool, I really love this, and why I'm actually here speaking with Henry Schein 1 is that I was just, if you don't know how excited I was about the resources that Henry Schein 1 has to be able to send people to handle all of this back end stuff for us, right? Where now we can get online bookings. We can go ahead and send people to our website. People can make the appointments. It's really, really exciting. I'm going to share what that looks like for you in a second. But we did a Tooth Talk Thursday, and you can see here that we can put our phone number, our email address, our office hours, where we're located. But in the right-hand side, or at the very bottom where it says learn more, we have a few options. That learn more can go to online booking, okay? That learn more can go to our practice's website where they can learn more about our practice, or we can send them to our contact us page. What's really great about office sites, I don't know how many of you guys have office site. If not, you need to look into it. I was overwhelmed with all of the features, right? Is that you have the ability for people to even chat. That's an option, right? Or to be able to go ahead and book online. It's really, really powerful, okay? And you can see here, this video, 17,000 views. 16 comments, 30 shares. We spend about $100 promoting this campaign. And now on the back end, all of the other stuff is automated, right? Automated online booking, automated collecting emails, sending out emails and creating email campaigns. Really, really cool stuff. Okay, so let's talk about online booking. Again, I am so excited about this online booking service because now you can put that button in, and now people can go ahead and book online. In my own practice, I tell you, we get probably about 40 to 50 online booking appointment requests every month. And what's really cool is that the online booking can happen when my practice is closed. And so if they're seeing that Facebook Live show up in their newsfeed talking about Invisalign, now they can go ahead and make an appointment right away. They don't have to wait, because when we're busy, right? Or we're seeing something, and then, the next day we're busy at work, we're not going to have time. We're not going to remember, right? So if you can book right away, it's really powerful. Some other really cool features, I love just sharing some other pearls, is that if you have online booking, you want to make sure that you're optimizing your Google My Business. And in the appointments section, you can go ahead and put your online booking link there. Some other pearls that people may not be aware of is that with Google My Business, you can actually take that same video that you did for Two Talk Thursday, and you can create a post within Google My Business. You can have learn more that, again, could go to your practice's website, that can go to your online booking. And another feature of online booking, which is really cool, is you can integrate it into your YouTube. A lot of people have YouTube channels. There's ways that you can actually go in there and you can set up where it says appointments and link people if you have a YouTube channel directly to your online booking. So that's really cool. Again, another option is sending people to your practice's website with that link, right? And from there, again, sending people to your site where they can learn more about your practice. Henry Schein One actually has two options. One is Office Site, which is a templated website, and they also do custom websites. And again, I had a tour of Office Site. Like, I've worked with it, and I'm just like, this is incredible, because you can essentially, like, for someone like me who loves creativity, you can make it your own. And I was almost embarrassed when I heard how low the cost was. I was like, are you kidding me? So it's definitely something, if you don't have a website, you want to look into it. And what I love about it as well is that one of the features of Office Sites is that it allows you to have an option built right into the templated where you can have landing pages. And that's where people can enter in from that link to schedule an appointment. You can collect their email address. And why would we ever want to do that? Right? So that we can collect their email address and market to them in the future. And from there, we can now give them the online scheduling link so we can allow them to book online as well. Again, really, really cool when you can collect an email and have people book online, okay? And so from there, you can continue to communicate with them. If you haven't checked out Patient Engage and Demand Force, really cool, because now that you have your marketing leads, right, people that have given you their email address, now you can actually create campaigns that can go out to them so that they can learn more about you. And again, that can be a campaign about Invisalign, about implants, all on four. You can create a campaign that's talking about what you're doing in the community, your community engagement, what you're doing, sending people back to your Facebook that you're doing in terms of your videos, letting people see what you're doing. Again, definitely recommend that. Like, I can't believe how easy this has made it. And I've not seen this with other solutions. And so you're able to go in there and, again, go ahead and create these campaigns, these follow-up campaigns, okay? Just want to mention a few additional features that you might not be aware of. Is that you're able to automate email, text, and voice reminders, do confirmations, manage online reviews, and enhance your business listings. And again, this is all wrapped in with Google. So again, I was pretty overwhelmed when I saw all of the value that comes with those services, okay? So just to wrap up, you want to make sure that as you are thinking about your marketing, you're thinking about how can you get an ROI? A lot of people, again, will spend $5,000 on a mail drop, and that's okay if you want to do that. The problem with that, again, is you have to spend it again next month and next month, and when you stop it, everything dries up, right? The marketing that we're talking about here is marketing that continues to market for you into the future. How long does it typically take? About 2 to 3 months, right? So I've seen so many startups get in, start doing this type of marketing. They've got 50 patients booked. Many of these practices become $1 million practices in their first year. Here's one of them, Dr. Brady. He was $1 million practice only utilizing the frameworks that we're teaching today. Shayna Holman's another one. She did $1 million her first year. She's in her second year of her startup, on track to do $2 million. And really just utilizing this community engagement campaign, really, really powerful. And here is, as we're ending up, Dr. Hagen. And you can see here, 2 new patients every single day this week, right? All from Facebook, in addition to a few other word of mouth new patients. And one was a $30,000 case that she closed today. Really, really exciting stuff, guys. So as we're coming to an end, would you agree that it's been time well spent so far, right? Can everybody agree? So now you know what's possible, and I want you to know that you can do it, okay? If you have any questions, I'm here to be able to answer questions for you. I hope that I was able to give you some pearls today that will help you to really think about what's possible with your marketing. I'd love if you in the comments could type in your biggest takeaway for today. And if you want to learn more, connect with me in the future. My website is deliveringwell.com. And my personal email that goes directly to me is anissa@deliveringwell.com. John, are there any questions?
Oh, there are. Yes, there are. And how are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
We got through about 3/4 of that, and I was like, I just wanted you to take a breath. That was unbelievable. And you kind of mentioned like nuggets. I think that was kind of like, I don't know, like what's the largest nuggets you can get at McDonald's, right? Like 18 pack or whatever, but that was awesome. Great stuff. And we do have some great questions. So, I want to make sure we get to as many of these as we can. Also just a lot of engagement, and that's about, I think, what you shared. I mean, certainly I think that, you struck a chord with a lot of people watching in the sense that, social media is always changing. It's always evolving, and you've been in this. And I think it's super beneficial for all of them to be able to, lay down these strategies. And like you mentioned, get some real ROI, right? Feel like if you're going to put energy towards this, make it matter. So I think that was really cool. All right. So I'm going to go down these list of questions for you. The first one is, I'm in a larger city. Can you talk a little bit about the difference of utilizing social media in some of these larger cities?
Absolutely. So what was great is that the case study that I shared today was actually from Manhattan. Like you can't get any larger than that, right? But I will share the differences, right? And the main difference is going to be ad spend. And so when you're in a big city, maybe you're in Manhattan or you're in Miami or you're in Atlanta, Dallas, you're going to have a lot of companies and corporations that are doing Facebook ads. And so typically what happens is that you're competing against those people for visibility, right? And so what I will typically say is that if you're in Kosciuszko, Mississippi, you might be able to get away with $400 a month utilizing the strategies of what we share here for Facebook ads per month. And guys, $400 is nothing, right? If you're in Manhattan, you might have to spend $800. But again, still way less than if you were doing other forms of marketing. So I think that's the main difference.
Yeah, and got a couple more questions. I do want to let everybody know. I actually wanted to make sure I let you all know this. The HS1 team actually put the link, kind of like what we've done for all the presenters, any of the solutions that Anissa touched on. A lot of the great ones in regards to how she's, kind of connecting and making this work. The team has just put that link back in the chat. So if you want more specific information, interested in any of those, please, go ahead and pull up that link, and you can go ahead and put all your information there. The HS1 team will get in touch with you. So be sure to check that out. All right, Anissa. So another question was, this is always an interesting one, is how do you get the doctor and the team excited, or as excited as you are about all of this? When somebody watches something like this, maybe they've done a lot of social media on their own outside the practice. They see the value of it, but then they want to get their doctor or their practice owner and their team excited. Talk a little bit about that.
Right. So interestingly, like sometimes I'll have doctors that come to me and they say, well, I'm not sure. I'm going to get my team, let them do the marketing for me, which is completely fine. Right. What happens is that once we start utilizing this form of marketing, which is more of how do we serve people well marketing, all of a sudden the entire team starts to get wrapped around it. Again, you talk about doing a Project Smile competition, doing a partner business competition, and you start to see how you're really moving people, and you see when patients are coming in that they're having amazing experience and they're saying, I saw you online, it becomes infectious. And so it becomes really, really easy for you to see the power of this. And you start to understand how you can scale what you're doing with a new patient. A new patient comes in the chair, you're talking to that one person, right? Now you see the possibilities that the same conversation you're having about all on four and how that can change someone's life. Now you're able to do a Facebook Live and educate the same thing that you're doing every single day. And now you can get traction and have 10,000 people see it, and you're spending $20. It becomes a no-brainer. And so when you start to understand the possibilities and the power, it's really easy to get doctors on board. And some doctors are introverts. They're not that comfortable. And so sometimes the team takes over. Sometimes it's a hygienist talking about hygiene procedures. It might be the office manager talking about financial. It might be a marketing coordinator. It doesn't have to be the doctor. The main thing, John, as we know, you know this as well, is that we have to keep marketing, right? Yep. I'm not spending, at this point, I'm not spending the $500, interestingly, on marketing anymore. I run my $100 for my community engagement campaign, and we'll boost our Two Talk Thursday. So we're spending about maybe $200 a month. I don't have to anymore, because now my community, the momentum is there. And so the faster we can do that, again, it typically takes 2 to 3 months, which is really, really cool. I mean, imagine taking 2 to 3 months to do a few of these things, and now you've got patients coming in for life. It's pretty powerful.
Yeah, it really is. And, that leads me to one of the next questions that somebody asked, which is, did you piece together and correlate how many new patients you were getting per month with your Facebook activity? Was that something that you had tracked? I don't know if you had mentioned that, but that was definitely one of the questions. Yeah,
that's a really great question. So I had a few metrics when I was just getting started with Facebook marketing. Number one was how many followers will I have? That's less important now, to be honest with you, because in the past, the algorithm was, the more followers, the more people that see. Things have changed, which is why now we have to understand how to create those audiences and boost, right? But the other thing that I started looking at is, what do I have to do to get 20 patients a month from Facebook, right? So your goal shouldn't be 50. Your goal should be, how can I get my first 10, right? What do I have to do? How do I need to be consistent? And the consistency holds you accountable. And so once you get your first 10, and you're like, wow, this is working, then you get excited, and then you continue, and then you get 20, and then we got 20. And then as the momentum builds, again, it's typically 3 or 4 months down the line, then you start to see this momentum of patients telling other people seeing you online, telling other people. And that's when you can easily get to 50, because it's not you using ad spend to get to 50, it's your community helping you. And that becomes exponential. So that's really, really cool.
Yeah, I love that. All right. One of the other couple questions where it was along the lines of the content, which I figured people were going to be curious. When you were talking about some of the high value ads, what program were you using to create some of those photos? And then also, what do you use in regards to your recorded videos?
Awesome. Great questions. So in terms of the recorded videos, I use my iPhone. So I actually use my iPhone. I typically will use it in horizontal so that I don't have the boxes on the side. There's some really cool microphones that you can use to plug directly into your iPhone. And you also want to consider your lighting. You always want to have lighting in front of your face instead of behind your face, so that you can get natural light. So that's the main thing. I do recommend having a tripod as well. You can pick up a quick, simple one from Amazon, and that way you can have things stable. But that's typically what I will use for my tech. And what's really cool with the iPhone is that you can go into the settings, and you can actually change the settings to give you very, very high quality, the same quality as a DSLR. And it's easy and it's convenient. And so I would definitely look at an iPhone, or whatever phone that you have, or you can get a DSLR. In terms of the content and the marketing materials, this is actually what we do within my program. So within Delivering Well, we have a signature marketing program where we actually train not just on Facebook, but on ground marketing and Google, my business, copywriting. We have monthly marketing calls to prepare teams for the next month for their marketing. We provide everything to implement the campaigns, from the Canva templates for flyers, what you'll send out to your patients. We run the campaigns with you. We have email sequences, blog that you need to be able to implement the marketing, again, on the front end. On the back end, is where Henry Schein One would come in, right? We don't set up websites. So from
Right.
there, where do you drive the traffic to? Well, that would go to your office site or your Sesame site, right? Or where will you collect the leads? Well, that would be collecting leads again through your landing page, right? How do you communicate with people in the future? That's where you're going to be looking at the demand force, right? Or the patient engage. And so what we're doing is we're generating the traffic and we're getting patients from the front end. But once you start looking at all of that automation and follow up, that's where it's a perfect marriage between what I'm doing with Delivering Well and the products that Henry Schein One offers, so that you don't have to figure out all of that tech stuff on your own.
Perfect. All right. So I'm really curious about your answer for this next one. And it's on a lot of people's minds, right? So people will say the age of our patient base, might be more of a retired patient base. And if we're going to put a lot of this into social media, will we be missing the mark with a lot of our patient base? What about maybe our older population that does not do social media? I don't know about you, but the last couple practices that I've been sitting in the waiting room. It didn't really matter what age somebody was. Everybody was on their phones. Everybody was on some form of technology. But I do know that tends to be a concern, for some of the older populations in regards to social media. So any thoughts on that?
Right. So interestingly, my dad is on Facebook, right? Why is he on Facebook? Because he wants to keep up with me and what I'm doing in my family, right? So like, don't be misled. Like, people that are in that, my dad, he's in his upper 60s, they're on social, right?
Yeah,
And guess what? I don't want to mislead you to think that social media is the only form of marketing.
Right.
That would not be the truth, right? Like, you want to think about other forms of marketing and maybe getting out to certain ages. You're going to do more ground marketing, right? Which is why in some of our program we speak about other forms of marketing. But don't be surprised and don't underestimate that population. And why do I love Facebook so much? So I teach Instagram marketing. I love Instagram as well. But why I love Facebook so much is that the demographic that we're going after, which is essentially the 28 to maybe 65-year-old demographic, this is the social media platform that they're hanging out on. Like, I am on Instagram, but I'm on Facebook a lot more. We want to get in front of people. Great to get in front of 18-year-olds, right? Like, and 22-year-olds. But who has the money? Who's more established, right? It's people who are probably my age. You're in your 40s and you're just kind of like, I am your ideal patient because I know the value. I see my parents aging, and I know if I don't take care of myself now, I'm going to have trouble in the future. I now am in a place where I can invest in my health, right? So, and I'm on Facebook. So I would say that that's why you may do other things, but you definitely want to have this as a marketing foundation.